Welcome back and happy Tuesday, my friends. I just was laughing. And then, do you have something like a vein that pops out of something when you get mad or laugh? I have this big vein that pops right out of my head when I start laughing too hard. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday. Happy Hump Day Eve. I love it. Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Coffee Talk with Coach Roxanne. Oh my goodness. Yesterday was an awesome conversation. I can't wait to keep on chit-chatting about it. Corey, good morning. Deanna, good morning. Kimberly, good morning. Happy Tuesday, my friends. I love it. I love it. I love it. Literally was just laughing. Oh, Sue, happy day. Michelle, happy Tuesday. Monica, hi. Oh, I wish I could remember some of my jokes from yesterday. They were so funny. Jolene, good morning. Terry, good morning. Carrie, good morning. Jolene, I feel like I haven't seen you in a couple days. What's going on? What's going on with that? Ruth, good morning. Janet, good morning. Tammy, hello, my friend. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Sarah, good morning. Carrie, good morning. Big news. Big news, Shayna, good morning. I believe we are this close to having the coffee mug ready. I'm hoping to get a floor model before I put it out to you guys, and we'll see. But we are this close to having that coffee cup, my friends. This close. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Oh, yes. Nicole, good morning. Lisa, good morning. All right. I don't know if that was the funniest one of the day. But it was knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dwayne.
Dwayne who?
Dwayne the Top, I'm drowning. Yes, it is going to be one of those days. You see? There it is. There's the laughing vein. Stacy, good morning. Karen, good morning. Linda, good morning. Hello, my friends. All right, yesterday, if you were with me yesterday, we were talking about believing in yourself is half the battle. I've got a wicked pen today to go with my wicked pinky. Nikki, good morning. Jolene, you're right. I've been slacking. All right. Well, today's a new day, my friend. Today's a new day. I love it. And we were talking about how you wake up in the morning, the things that you say to yourself. Dina, good morning. What you speak, you believe. What you believe is what happens. We're going to dig a little bit deeper on that today. Debbie, good morning. Listening to an amazing podcast. I only listened to 10 minutes of it, and I'm like, man, that goes hand in hand with what I was talking about. And I'm going to take some of the things that I heard and learned on that, and we're going to talk more about it today, because I'll tell you, every now and then I'll say something to you guys, like, if something clicks today, what are you going to do about it? There are so many things in that podcast that clicked with me, and I want to share that with you. Lori, you are giving Chuck a run for his money on jokes. Well, thank you. I was the funny one. I always, and then Chuck decided one day he was going to steal that thunder, and he's done an amazing job at it. Do the, I don't remember it, Amy. Oh, hold on. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Queen.
Queen who?
I got to clean the dishes. but I'm supposed to say Queen Camille. Sorry, some people are probably like, what are you even talking about? But we know. All right. So yesterday we were talking about how you talk to yourself is everything. Today we're going to take that a step further. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about self-love. Self-love either hurts your confidence or it helps your confidence. And now you're like, well, self-love, doesn't that mean that it's love? Not always. Not always, because it can hurt you or it can help you. It helps your confidence. It's all about how confident you are. How confident you are determines your actions that you take, or it determines the actions you're not taking. Your confidence is everything. A confident person is going to believe that they can achieve their goals, even when they hit plateaus, even through hard times, even through obstacles, through crazy schedules. A confident person still believes that they are going to achieve their goals. A not confident person, you guessed it, they're going to self-sabotage. When an obstacle comes along, they're going to let that obstacle bulldoze them. An unconfident person is looking for reasons why they aren't going to succeed. So I'm going to take this into a really deep place. I want you to think about children. We see these children all over the place. The Chihuahua is running wild around here. Children all over the place who are verbally and emotionally abused. We hear about it all the time, right? We hear about it all the time. They're told how stupid they are. They're told how worthless they are, how ugly they are, how fat they are. We hear about it all the time, right? These kids hear this over and over and over again. And what happens? They believe it. They believe it, and they grow into adults that believe it. Some of them will escape this. How does this affect them? What will they believe? And we say, kids are so impressionable. They're so impressionable. And this is a really hard thing for them to listen to, because then they become that. But the crazy thing I heard in the podcast today, and it's, you are impressionable. If you weren't impressionable, you wouldn't be on this coffee talk, hoping to hear something that might trigger something in you. You wouldn't be reading the books that you're reading. You wouldn't be listening to the new nuggets. You are impressionable. What are you saying to yourself? And I'm being very serious with this. What are you saying to yourself? When you got up this morning, what did you say to yourself? When you missed a workout, what did you say to yourself? If you missed your smoothie, what did you say to yourself? If you didn't hit a number on the scale, what did you say to yourself? The average person, and this is a crazy statistic, thinks 60 to 80,000 thoughts in a day. 60 to 80,000 thoughts. 90% of them end up being negative. 90% of our thoughts end up being negative. So just because you're older, just because you've lived life, just because you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, doesn't mean you're not impressionable. Doesn't mean you're immune from these negative thoughts. They're still there. They're still there. You have become your own abuser in older age. You have become your own abuser, right? Because we're going to tell anybody that abuses a child, that verbally and mentally abuses a child, that they're an abuser. If you are speaking any of these negative thoughts into your life, you have become your own abuser. I don't think we've ever looked at it like that. I think that we're going to sit back and think, well, that's just not true. But it is, because if anybody else would say the things to us that we say to ourselves, somebody would say, that person is mentally abusing you. That person is gaslighting you. That person is toxic. But here we are telling ourselves these things day in and day out. How many of you in the 21 Tough or in any other challenge you have in life didn't take your finishing pictures? Because you have a story around them. What's your story? And I can guarantee the thoughts that are starting to come to your mind are things that you would never say to a child. So now let's take this even a step further. Today, for the rest of the day, when these thoughts start to pop into your mind, I want you to write them all down, all right? Write these thoughts down, good, bad, or otherwise, all right? But we're going to focus on the bad for now. We're going to focus on the bad for right now. I want you to take that list of negative thoughts about yourself that come in. I want you to write them down. And then tomorrow morning, I want you to tell them to your daughter. Everything you tell yourself over the next 12 hours, every negative thought you tell yourself that comes in, I want you to tomorrow go tell your daughter. Tell your sister. Tell your spouse. Tell other people the thoughts you have about yourself. How do you think that would affect them? If you're not going to verbally abuse them, why are you verbally abusing yourself? If you're not going to mentally abuse them, why are you mentally abusing yourself? And that is what it is. So many days, so many weeks, so many years, we tell ourselves these things. We start to believe them. We become them. We become that unconfident person who believes that we are too fat. We are too ugly. We aren't worthy. We aren't smart. You can only tell yourself that so many times before you become what you believe. It's everything we talked about yesterday. Everything you say about yourself becomes a reality. Karen, good point, right? So every time that thought comes in today, I want you to think, What would I tell my daughter? What would I tell my husband? What would I tell my sister? What would I tell my mom? And then retrain that thought right there in that moment. Right there in that moment. Jolene, I have to leave for work. I will listen later because I need this today. That's right. You have become your own abuser. How do you stop? You need to seek help. You need to recognize the abuse before you can fix it. Recognize the abuse. It's not normal for us to sit back and have all of these negative thoughts. That's not normal. Maybe you have them because of how your childhood was. Maybe you have them because of how a relationship was. Whatever the reason is, you have the power to change it. Somebody at some point in time made you believe you didn't have the power. You do. You have all of the power. You have all of the power to change your abuse by recognizing it. So that is what today is going to be about. I want you to carry a scrap piece of paper with you, whatever, a pen, and every time that thought comes in, write it down. Now, would you say it to your daughter, to your son, to your spouse, whatever? If not, what would you say? And rewrite it. And that is what you start to say to yourself. When that other thought creeps in, you turn to the other thought, the positive thought. Charlie, oh, this is deep, true, powerful, and enlightening. Robin, this is so powerful. Rachel, good morning, everyone. Negative thoughts come from the devil, not God. Amen to that. So that's what I want you to write. When you start to think about something didn't go right in your nutrition yesterday, what do you tell yourself? What's the thought? If you missed your workout, what's the thought? If you missed your smoothie, what's the thought? Is it a positive, like, you know what? I'll just get it done later. You know what? Today I'm just going to try and do a 5-minute fit challenge. You know what? Tomorrow's a new day. Or is it, oh, I failed again. I'm such a failure. This is what I always do. What thoughts are you telling yourself every single day? Because not every day is going to be perfect. No day is going to be perfect. We are not perfect. Life is crazy. Life is going to throw you obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. What are you going to tell yourself? How are you going to get past it? How are you going to stay positive? Because I tell you this all the time, it doesn't just happen. You have to work on it. You have to work on it. You have to realize those thoughts are coming in and retrain those thoughts. Yeah. I see Coach Chuck coming over. Come on over. Yeah. Kara, I love this. I needed this so much. Thank you. Nicole, this is so spot on.
I'm going to hijack this one for a minute.
I love when you do this.
I want to have a drink.
She wants to have a drink
of her coffee. All right. So this is something I read yesterday that I thought was really powerful. So bear with me. I'm going to read to you guys, but it's really good. Okay. So rather than endlessly analyzing a tape from your childhood or the past, you can erase it by recording a new one. A story, no matter how factually true, is still a story. Spiritual growth, internal growth, involves giving up the stories of your past so the universe can write a new one. Ooh. You are not denying your childhood. You are not denying your past. You are simply transcending it and any of its negative aspects. You are a child of God, carrying the internal mark of your perfect source. Your perfect source. We're not perfect.
Right.
We're not perfect. You are naturally entitled to miracles because love, living through love, is what you are. You are love. This is not an arrogant appraisal of the ego, but rather a humble acceptance of God's truth. You just happen to have within you eternal power of the universe. Last paragraph. Because you are a child of God, the universe, whatever you believe, made of love, only love has power over you. Your mortal self, right? We're mortal, right? We're faulting all the time. Your mortal self can be damaged, but your spiritual self cannot. You do not have to identify with the brokenness of this world, for the effects of brokenness are only temporary. Every loving thing that ever happened to you, every loving thing that ever happened to you was real. Everything else was an illusion. Such illusions have no effect on your future unless you carry them with you into the present. Final sentence. It is entirely up to each of us whether we consider ourselves damaged goods.
Oh, I love that. And yes, so much of this negative talk we have comes from something that happened in our past. Some sort of trauma, some sort of abuse. But why would you continue that trend? Why would you continue that cycle? Why would you continue to be the abuser in your own life? You probably got away from a toxic relationship at some point in your time, abusive relationship. But here we are doing it to ourselves. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. This is enough. This is deep. This is powerful. I want you really to think about this today. Carry that notebook with you. Carry that piece of paper. Every time that negative thought comes in, write it down. Because the only way you're going to recognize it is if you actually look at it and take power over it instead of letting it just sift through your mind and cloud your judgment, cloud your confidence. You know, we joke around a lot around here. I'm not humble. It's not that I'm not humble, but yes, I'm going to say I am hilarious. I am gorgeous. I am strong. I am fit. Why wouldn't I tell myself these things? Whether or not somebody else believes them, I am going to believe them for myself. I can do anything. I can do anything. I can be anything. I can be the best version of myself every single day. That it doesn't have to do with anybody else. Only me. Amy, this is spot on this morning for myself. I love that. Nicole, this is spot on. Sandy, I love that. Michelle, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Debbie, absolutely. Janet, what book is that out of? That is it. Oh, Chuck, what book is that out of?
All right.
You look nervous.
Oh.
You look nervous.
No, crazy story about this book. I wasn't looking for this book. So we have a quote on our website by a gal named Marianne Williamson. And she's, oh God, how does it go? Our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I just saw her, and it's called The Law of Divine Compensation. It's on work, money, and miracles. You probably could read it in 3 days. I'm on page 44. Absolutely mind-bending, amazing. Marianne Williamson, The Law of Divine Compensation. Never heard of it in my entire life, but I knew who the author was. And she has a book that sold like hundreds of thousands of copies. It's called A Return to Love. I haven't read it, but she is the one. Our greatest fear is that we are not inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So I'm just reading this, just working on my faith and spirituality. Every single page in this book is like, bam, bam, bam. That's
the best kind of book.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
My friend Heidi put something in the comments. It's a long read, Heidi. It's amazing. She's one of my God people. She really is. Go read that, and it's just true. He formed and fashioned you just right even before you were born. My friends, you are capable of so much. You have to start to believe that. You have to start to believe that you are worthy. You are worthy. I can't tell you you're worthy. I can, but unless you believe it, it doesn't matter. You have to believe it. You have to become your biggest cheerleader. You have to get rid of that toxic abuser that lives up here and fill it with that positive, happy, joyful, energetic person that you are. That's who needs to live up here, my friends. Sue, spot on message today. I never realized how mean I was to myself until a friend started calling me out on it. I love that. All right, my friends, your homework. Write it down today. Write down those thoughts. Write down those thoughts. We're going to work on them. I love you all. We're going to carry this on tomorrow. I think this whole week, maybe we're going to work on this. So, all right, my friends, go out and have a fantastic day. Be your biggest cheerleader.